Good morning, students. Today we are going to see about a new topic, that is of interferons. Interferons is a protein that is produced via virus infected cells. As a definition for an interferon is, it is a proteinous antiviral species specific substance produced by mammalian cells when infected with virus. The meaning for the sentence is, whenever a cell is infected by a virus, automatically inside the cell there will be a production of a protein called interferon. The major function of this interferon is it will stimulate the nearby cells to protect it from the viral infection. This interferons is of three types. We can call it as alpha, beta and gamma interferons. Actually, the meaning of this entire topic has been depicted in this diagram. So we are having of two cells, and yellow color cells is there. This is of cell 1 and this is of cell 2. The first cell, it was infected by a virus. This orange color we call it as a virus. This virus has come and attached to the first cell, so it causes infection. Inside the cells there is a formation of new virus. Along with the formation of this new virus, there will be an activation of a gene called INF. The meaning of this INF, we call it as interferons. So a virus infected cell is having the ability to produce a protein. The name of the protein we call it as interferon. So this orange color we call it as an interferons. As I said before, the major function of this interferon is it will go and bind with of the nearby cells. This is of your second cell. It is having of a blue color component on the surface of the cell. The blue color component is nothing but your cell receptors. The major function of the cell receptor is to attach the signals that is produced by the nearby cells for its activation. So the first cell has produced one protein which we call it as an signals. It comes and binds to the nearby cells as a signals. The signal tells about the viral infection. After getting of that infection, the second cell automatically produced a protein called antiviral protein. So it will help for the second cell to protect it from the viral infection. So this has been given there. It stimulates the cellular DNA to produce an antiviral enzymes which inhibit the viral replications and protect the cell from the viral infection. Normally the treatment has been given with the help of isolation of blood. So enormous amount of blood has to be isolated, so that from that amount of blood we have to isolate the interference alone, but it's not at all practical. So we are not following about this process. So for an alternatively we are giving a remedy, that is of rDNA technology. The meaning of rDNA technology is recombinant DNA technology. Otherwise we can call it as genetic engineering. The interferons could be produced with the help of rDNA technology. We have discussed previous chapters about this vector construction. Again we are telling about the same thing. The first circle we call it as a vector, and this is of your DNA. So the same enzymes has to be given over here. We call it as restriction enzymes. Otherwise, I think you all remember about that restriction enzymes. We call it as a molecular scissor. So the major function of a molecular scissor is to cut the DNA as well as the plasmid at the specific region. We call it as palindrome sequences. The meaning of palindrome sequences, which will give the same meaning when we read in the opposite directions too. So we are using of molecular scissor. It cuts the DNA as well as of plasmid at the same site. It will be helpful for ligating our DNA. The meaning of ligase is joining of our DNA into the vector. So we are using of DNA ligase. It connects the vector as well as of a DNA. At last we forms a new component. We call it as recombinant vector. So in case of interferons, here we are taking of that INF genes, that is of interferon gene. Interferon coding genes has been taken from the DNA. So it has been connected with of a vector, otherwise we can call it as plasmids. Now our recombinant vectors has been formed of. With the help of a gene transfer method, either it may be a physical, chemical or biological method, it will be the vector will be transferred into the host cells. The host will be of a bacteria, a virus, otherwise it may be of a plant or whatever it may be. It will act as a host. The meaning of host is it will provide a suitable environment for the replication of our recombinant vector. At last the downstream process will be carried over. The meaning of downstream process is inside the host our recombinant vector has been developed for the production of a protein. So enormous amount of protein has been produced inside the host cells. With the help of process called downstream process, extraction and purifications will be carried over. The meaning of extraction is removing of the particles from the host. For an example, we are using of a bacteria. Inside of a bacteria, numerous numbers of proteins will be present. Among the numerous number of proteins, we should specifically identify our protein with the help of process called downstream process. It should be purified with this method. So in this categorization, instead of using of E. coli, we are using of yeast. The normal name for your yeast is Saccharomyces cerevisiae. A specific reason has been given for it. Most commonly we are using of E. coli. Why? Because within 20 minutes it will produce its next generation. But here we are using of an yeast, that is of Saccharomyces cerevisiae. The reason behind that is it is a complication process that has been taken place in case of E. coli. Normally a DNA will be converted into RNA. The RNA will be converted into a protein. This will be directly happen in case of your prokaryotes, that is of bacteria. But in case of eukaryotes, that is of animals as well as of plants, it is very complicated. Unwanted nature will be presented over there. It has to be cleaved off. The meaning of cleaving is we have to remove the unwanted substance that presented over, so that a specific nature has to be present. Instead of E. coli, we are using of yeast for this only reasons. The next one is the treatment of cancers, hepatitis and AIDS can be done with the help of your interferons. Why? Because it will provide the information to the nearby cells. For what reason it has been provided? To control the infections. The next one, that is based on recombinant vaccines. So before entering into a topic, we should know the meaning of vaccines. What is the meaning of vaccines? The vaccine is also a protein, but it has been produced from that pathogen. The meaning of pathogen is whenever a microorganism causing an infection, that is of disease or any other kind of symptoms, the particular pathogens we call it as a disease causing microorganisms. From that disease causing microorganism, we are choosing either its protein or DNA or any particle that present inside of that host, so that we are creating a new medicines. That one we call it as a vaccine. Another important thing for using of a vaccine is the memory nature. If a normal person is there, he is getting an infection by a bacteria or virus. What happens? First it will take off time, or 1 week or 10 days it will be taken over to recognize what kind of infection it was. Either it is a bacteria or a virus. Later our immune response will be carried off. Immune response means the fighting ability of our body. It will produce an antibodies. Inside our human body we are having of two cells. One is of T cell, another one is of B cells. The T cells is having of a nature that is of cell mediated immunity. Directly it will go and bind with the bacteria and it will kill it off. Another thing is it will trigger off the nearby cell, that is of B cells. So most commonly the B cells will be used of. The B cell is having of a specific function, that is it is of plasma cells as well as of memory cells. Plasma, in our blood we have heard about the word plasma, but apart from that in our immune system also we are having a word called plasma. The function of this plasma is it has the ability to produce of antibodies. So if a virus infected, for that specifically an antibody will be a synthesis. If a bacteria enter in our body, for that a specific antibody will be produced. Likewise specific antibodies will be produced with the help of a plasma cell of a B cells. But addition to that, it is also having a numerous number of cells. We call it as memory cells. The major function of this memory cell is it will act as a secondary response. If once an inflammation occurs, it will take a time for production of an antibody. But the same infection occurs repeatedly, what happens? Immediate response will be given by our body. That one we call it as memory suspense, otherwise memory response. So in case of our vaccines, the same categorizations will be carried over. But in that several drawbacks has been given for it. We have to produce in an enormous amount. Normal culture we can't make it off, so that we have interpreted into a new technique called genetic engineering, otherwise we can call it as recombinant DNA technology. So now we are going to see about the topic that is of recombinant vaccine. A new generation vaccines to overcome the limitation of our traditional vaccine. The meaning of traditional is the things that we have followed in the past. The major function is it is having of uniform quality. The side effects mostly we can overcome it. It is having of less side effects when compared to our traditional vaccines. So as per our chapters, we are having of three types of recombinant vaccine. One is of subunit recombinant vaccine. The name itself, it is having the meaning subunit. The meaning of subunit is a small part of an organism has been taken or used as a vaccines. The next one, that is of attenuated vaccines. Attenuated is the virulent capability of a particular organism has been totally collapsed, so that the pathogen is enter into the cell but it will not cause the diseases. The third one is DNA vaccines. The pathogen DNA will be used as a vaccine to cure the diseases. The first one, that is of subunit recombinant vaccines. So in this slide I have shown one diagram. The right side of the slide is having of the diagram the technique that we have made of. Here a part of a pathogen has been used of. Part of a pathogen means any one components of a pathogen, that is either it may be a protein or a DNA or any other substance. From that microorganism will be collected and it will be constructed into a vector, so that a new proteins will be synthesized and it is used as a vaccine. So here it is clearly means that a part of a pathogen is used as a vaccines. The major advantage of this vaccine is the purity, the stability, as well as safer use. The next one is of attenuated recombinant vaccine. The meaning of attenuated is heat killing, otherwise we are going to remove the virulence capability of a cell. The meaning of virulence is disease causing nature, we call it as a virulence. So here it includes genetically modified pathogenic organism. Either we are going to use of bacteria, virus, which are made into a non-pathogenic conversion of a disease causing microorganism into a non-causing microorganism. Otherwise we can call it as a live vaccines. So it will enter into our body, it will not cause us any kind of diseases, but it will trigger the immune system. So our antibodies will be produced inside our body, so it will act against the forthcoming infection. So the process that involved in the production of attenuated recombinant vaccine is the first step, we call it as isolation of a virus. So we have to choose which kind of virus we are going to use it of. The second one, the cloning mechanisms. The third one is the virulence. So we have to find out which part of the virus is causing the virulence nature. As I said before, the meaning of virulence is disease causing nature. So we have to isolate either the DNA is causing of the diseases or the protein that present in case of a virus is causing of diseases. So the isolation will be of the third part. The fourth one is mutate. So we are going to delete that virulent causing gene, so that the entire pathogen will be converted as non-pathogenic. As a result, we are getting off a virus. So it is ready to inject into the patients or a normal individual as given as a vaccine. So the secondary response will be suitable for the protection of the particular individual. This is about your attenuated recombinant vaccines. The third one is of DNA vaccines. Otherwise, we can call it as third generation vaccines. So here I have given a picture. This is the structure of a DNA. In that, with the help of a forceps, we are going to inject a small part. This one we call it as a desired DNA. That is a part of a DNA. A part of a DNA from the pathogen has been taken and constructed into the cloning vector, or it has been induced into the normal individual, so that the antisense nature has been produced over. Whenever infection occurs, immediate response of the infections will be carried over. That is a major advantage of your DNA vaccines. DNA vaccines or third generation vaccines. It contains the DNA that codes for specific proteins from a pathogen, either it may be of a virus or bacteria. The DNA is injected into the body and taken up by the cells, whose normal metabolic process synthesized protein based on the genetic code in the plasmid that they have to be taken off. It is having off only of the copy numbers. So the detailed version has been given in this diagram. So this is, for an example, I am taking off a virus, that is of hepatitis B virus. So this is the structure of a virus. The virus is having of a DNA. Mostly the virus is having of two genetic material, either it may be of a DNA or an RNA. Here it is having of a DNA. So the DNA was isolated. So we mentioned as isolated the surface antigen, that is of DNA has been isolated. Then it was inserted into the yeast. Yeast here is act as a vector. Yeast is having of also having of a plasmid. Then it was introduced into the host. From that the replications will be of carried over. Then the extractions and purification will be of done. For that I have given a word called downstream process. The protein now it acts as a vaccine. It is ready to inject into the human beings to protect them from the future infections. The next topic, that is of gene therapy. Actually, before entering into topic gene therapy, we should know the difference between of disease as well as of disorders. The normal meaning of disease is it is caused by a microorganisms, but another thing is easily it can be curable. But in case of disorders, genetical changes will be carried off. It is not easy to cure of genetic disorders. If a disease occurs in a patient, means he can be cured and he can lead a normal life. But in case of disorder, throughout the life it will be present up till their death. So, but this gene therapy is giving a hope that we can cure that genetic disorders too. It involves in the transfer of normal gene in the persons, results in a functional gene products whose action produces a normal phenotype. Therefore, meaning for the sentence is we are going to isolate a thing and re-inject it into the individual so that they are getting of a normal patients. We are going to cause some changes in the gene. As I said before, the disorder we cannot cure it, we cannot change the genetic changes, but here the gene therapy is giving a hope, okay, that we can cure it with the help of gene mutation. So that has been given as delivery of the normal gene is accomplished by using a vector. So here we are using of two strategy. One is of gene augmentation, another one is gene inhibition theory. The simple thing to understand about these two things, that is gene augmentation. I think you all know about gene. Gene is part of a chromosomes. The chromosomes, otherwise we can call it as a DNA form. So gene is having the ability to produce the protein. So gene augmentation. In case of disorders, the alteration has been present in a gene. So here that altered gene, otherwise the mutated gene has been replaced by a normal gene. So that process we call it as gene augmentation. So with the help of this method, we are going to exchange the thing. We are going to replace the unwanted with the wanted, that is modified or mutated with a normal one. This theory we call it as a gene augmentation theory. It involves in the insertion of DNA into the genome to replace the missing gene product. Okay, for an example, we are having of a gene A, B, C and D. Each and every gene is having the ability to produce a protein. A codes for A protein, B protein, C is of C protein. If some changes occurs in the gene, instead of production of A protein, it produces Z protein. We call it as changes, that is of mutation. So with the help of this gene therapy, we can change that alteration. So that process we call it as gene augmentation. The second one we call it as gene inhibition therapy. The same concept, but instead of replacement, we are going to block it. In case of science, we are using of two words. One is of dominant, another one is of recessive. While we are studying about the genetics, we must know about that thing, that is of dominance and recessive. Recessive characters, otherwise we can either suppress. It won't express its own nature. And the dominant, dominance means it will enhance the remaining characters. The same thing we are going to use in this character, that is of gene inhibition therapy. The meaning of inhibition is one gene going to suppress the nearby genes. So with the help of a normal gene, we are going to suppress the mutated gene. That is a process or a concept that has been used in case of your gene inhibition therapy. It is done to block the overproduction of some protein. So here we are having of a cell. Inside the cell, we are having of a mutated gene. This orange color reflects about the mutated one. So with the help of the gene therapy, a normal gene has been inserted into the cell to block, to suppress the nature, to inhibit the nature of that mutated. So that what happens, abnormal production of protein has been totally blocked. The abnormal nature has been converted into a normal nature. So this is the major strategies has been followed in case of gene therapy. So we have to remind that for a gene therapy we have to follow two strategy. One is of gene augmentation, another one is of gene inhibition. Then the next topic, this deals about two approaches to achieve of gene therapy. So several difficulty has to be followed in case of making of gene therapy. To overcome that problems, we are using of two approaches. Nothing but of the methods. One is of somatic cells, another one is of germ cells. Somatic cells we call it as body cells, and the germ cells we call it as the sperm or a ovum, okay, the eggs. So from that we are making of our gene therapy. So here in a tabular column I give the difference between of somatic cell gene therapy as well as of germline gene therapy. First we can go for your somatic cell gene therapy. It is a therapeutic gene transferred into a bone marrow or blood cells or a skin cells. So these are the examples for your somatic cells. As I said before, the somatic cells otherwise called as body cells. Here bone marrow. Bone marrow plays an important role in our immune response. Why? Because hematopoiesis is a major process that occurred over. I think you all know about hematopoiesis, that is the production of blood cells. Either it may be a RBC or WBC or platelets. Whatever it may be of, the productions will be carried out in your bone marrows. So here directly we are going to make our experiment in our bone marrow cells, then skin cells. But the major problems for your somatic cell gene therapy is it will not be inherited into the later generation. So while studying of a genetics, we know that the characters of a DNA will be transferred from one generation to the next generation. That is, either a parental, a maternal or paternal characters, father character or mother character will be transferred to the children. But in this somatic gene therapy, the characters will not be traveled to the next generation. That is a major problem. But in case of germline gene therapy, this can be overcome. It will be inherited or herited from one generation to a next generation. Apart from that, it has been used in case of germ cells, nothing but our eggs as well as of sperms. For an example, I have given one thing. One is of SCID. SCID is nothing but severe combined immune deficiency or immunodeficiency. That is, in our body we having of immune system. The immune system will give an immune response, that is production of antibodies. If there is a lacking of antibody production, normal production, T cells and B cells, we call it as the SCID, severe combined immunodeficiency or SCID. So gene therapy, with the help of a gene therapy, we made an attempt to cure of the SCID. We are using of three types of method. One is of bone marrow transplantation, second one enzyme replacement therapy, the third one injecting the cells directly into the embryonic stages. This SCID therapy has been done in a female. Actually it was experimented in the year of 1990 in a 4-year girl due to the deficiency of adenosine deaminase. As I said before, ADA, adenosine deaminase. This is an enzyme which is responsible for the production of T cells. So when there is a lagging of this enzyme, if there is no enzymes, automatically the production of T cells will not be carried over. So several kind of infections will be occurred to the particular patient. Soon it will be died. To overcome that problems, we have to produce the adenosine deaminase in an artificial manner. So we are using of bone marrow transplantation method. The first thing, bone marrow is the place where the hematopoiesis will be carried over. That is, the immune cells will be produced over here. The infected patient is not having of this proper bone marrow, so we are going to transplant a normal bone marrow to the infected patient so that we can be overcome. The second one is of enzyme replacement theory. Here we are going to collect the cells, that is of T cells from the patients. It will be cultured in the laboratory. Later it will be infected into the same patient, but it's having of limited version. Again and again we have to inject the again and again we have to continue the same process, so it will take off cost as well as of timing, so it is not properly used. The permanent cure has been given for this kind of diseases, the injection of the T cells at the embryonic stages. The meaning of embryonic stages is development of an embryo. When egg as well as of sperm fuses, it forms a zygote. The zygote will divide into many cells, we call it as an embryo. This embryonic stage is a perfect one for injecting of this kind of cells. So automatically at the formation of the fetus itself, we are making a cure for that particular disease. So this is the permanent method for curing of this SCID. So this is the best example for your gene therapy method. So here this diagram, automatically we can easily understand. Why? Because previously we have discussed about this. We are having of a bacteria, it is having of a plasmid. This pink color we represent the plasmid, and the blue color it's considered as the ADA gene, A adenosine deaminase gene. It was injected into the particular host, so huge amount of proteins will be injected. Then a retrovirus has been infected. Normally retrovirus, that is adenovirus or retrovirus, will be used as a vector for human being, that especially for the mammals. It is having the advantages, that is easily it will go on infect with the mammalian cells. So apart from that, the virus will also infect the bacteria, we call it as a phages. These two got infection, the thing that present inside of the bacteria is transferred to the virus. This virus is allowed to infect the patient's cells, so that what happened, the artificially prepared gene is entering into the is injected into the particular patients. It has been cured of lateral. So permanent method is very sufficient for making of the gene therapy.